Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we are doing another manga review. Now, yesterday we did Gantz, today we're going to be doing Gigant, volumes 1 and 2, which are really nice. I really enjoy these covers, and I enjoy the size because this is a 7 Seas title. So, yeah. Now, Gigant is written by Hiroya, same guy that did Gantz and Inuyashiki, and like I said earlier, it's made or published by 7 Seas, and these nice, like, small-sized manga, which is pretty good. Now, the demographic here is seinen. This is a very adult title, just like, what's it called? Just like Gantz. However, I think this is slightly less mature than Gantz. I'm not really sure. It says older teen here, which is kind of interesting because Gantz has parental advisory stickers, so I don't know. I would say they're more or less the same. In fact, I don't know. I think they are the same. So, yeah. If you wouldn't let your kid read Gantz, you should not let them read Gigant. Genre-wise, it's a sci-fi, but it kind of reads, at least so far, more like a slice of life kind of rom-com kind of thing. I'm not really sure, but it's definitely sci-fi. Adaptations-wise, I don't think there has been one announced just yet, but given that Hiroya is super popular, I would assume that there's going to be one soonish, right? So that's pretty nice. Now, the premise here is basically that this high schooler called Ray, very similar to Kei from Gantz, wants to be a director, like a film director. He wants to work in Hollywood, right? And after his meeting with this busty porn star, Papiko, his life kind of changes kind of dramatically because Papiko seems to have these very interesting powers to become big, like gigantic, right? Which is why this is called Gigant. And no one really knows why. And there's kind of a mystery that kind of develops there with this kind of like fancy website thing that is used to control like what happens, which is really, really interesting. Now, the plotline here is fair. Like, besides the introductory stuff of the first volume, plotline wise, I don't think there's been much that has happened just yet. Like, we're in a very kind of like slow developing kind of thing. More than anything, we're focusing on the characters with a little bit of sprinkling in of that kind of website thing that controls the world and kind of has like important things. And we get some foreshadowing about some aliens that are going to show up or something. And we get to see that, you know, people are kind of really wild when they don't kind of have a direct say in things. Like, people on this website, ETE, pick really horrifying things, but because it's through a computer, they don't really feel the effect of it. At least that's what we're kind of led to believe, which is really interesting and kind of makes sense. Like, that's how people work, right? People don't really care about things when they don't actually affect them directly, right? And the few people that do care are kind of like special and like maybe better than the rest of us, but like it doesn't, yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting because it kind of deals with that type of stuff. But like I said, most of it feels like a drama or slice of life type of story more than it feels like a sci-fi action story, which is kind of interesting. But this is probably not the place to start with Hiroya because although this has a lot of similar elements to Gantz or maybe Inuyashiki as far as I know, this feels a lot slower and like it's actually trying to kind of get you to care about the characters more than just kind of like enjoy the crazy action, which is kind of a different style of writing than what I'm used to from Hiroya. And although I didn't dislike it, I'm sure that a lot of people are probably not going to have a great experience with this title if this is the first one they check out by Hiroya. But yeah, like I said, there is the beginning of action. Like, the end of volume 2 is when the action seems to be starting. But that's really slow. That's 2 volumes worth of time. That's like, I think that was 12 chapters. I'm not exactly sure, but that's a lot of time between the beginning of the series, the explanation of what the plotline is going to be, and then the actual start of the story, right? Like, that's a lot of time. So, like I said, it's a really slow developing story so far, and I'm really happy with it. I'm enjoying it, but like, it's not as good as I was expecting because it's not like the same crazy high octane action that I'm used to from Hiroya. Characters wise, there's really just 2 characters. Ray, who is this like nice average teenager. Thankfully, he's not like a dick like Kei, which is wonderful because Kei is a horrible person in Gantz. But Ray is a pretty nice guy. He cares about people around him, and he's really interested in his hobby, which is filmmaking. And, you know, he cares about Papiko beyond the fact that she's just like his favorite porn star, which is good. And they kind of develop a relationship, which is kind of concerning as a Westerner, but I'm not really sure how that functions in Japan because, you know, culture is different and the laws that they have are different. So I'm not really sure how it works. But from a Western perspective, I guess it is kind of like a concerning type of relationship. Not because she's a porn star, but because she's like a proper adult and he's like a 16-year-old high schooler. But I guess there's a lot of old like movies from the 90s that kind of have plot lines like that. So I don't know. But yeah, Papiko is cool. I like her. She has a very interesting backstory that's really meaningful and kind of like really shitty. Like she basically does what she does because her family needs money and everyone like requires her to do all the work, but they don't appreciate that she's like doing it, and they really like what's called disparage her for being a porn star, which is kind of crazy, right? Like, how do you reap all the benefits and then like shit on her for doing it, right? Like, it's so shitty, but like I think it's really meaningful for Papiko as an individual, so like I like the story, I guess. But yeah, I really like her as a character. She's really meaningful and kind of like damaged, like we see in a lot of Western kind of like teenage to early adult kind of movies. And it's really meaningful, and I really like her as a character. Ray's like relationship with her is kind of like odd, like I said, but it also seems to be kind of good for both of them in a way. Like they both care about each other. So that's really good. But like it's a really odd kind of story. And really, that's the most important part of Gigant so far. It's their relationship more than everything else that's happening around them. Now, world building wise, there's really not that much. Like just the ETE website and how it kind of works. And then we get like flashes of like this alien spaceship that's like chilling out in space above Earth. And then you're just like, what the fuck, man? Why is there that? And then like we go back and talk about Papiko and Ray's kind of like story. Right? And it's kind of interesting, but there's really not that much there, which kind of sucks, but also kind of like whatever, I guess. I'm really invested in Ray and Papiko. It's just like, I want that crazy action, man. Where is it? Art-wise, classic Oku. It's really good. It's that kind of like 3D CGI type of thing that then they make 2D, which is really nice. I really enjoy how it looks. It was kind of difficult at first when I started reading Gantz, but now that I'm used to it, it looks really nice. And I think there's a slight but noticeable, growth in the art style from when it was before to now. Now, I don't know if that's because the technology has advanced or it's because, Hiroya and his assistants have gotten better as artists, right? So who knows? But like, I think it's better looking than Gantz, so that's really nice. Fanservice-wise, a lot. I mean, the main character is dating a porn star, and the female main character is the porn star. So there's going to be a lot of stuff like that. And like I said, this is definitely for adults. I mean, it says older teen, but I definitely think this is an adult title. So if you don't like fan service or anything like that, or have some like religious reason for disliking things like this, this is not for you. You should not check this out at all. Don't bother with it. It's not good. It's not going to be for you. However, if you don't really mind or don't have any reason for disliking anything that happens in this volume, definitely check it out. It's cool. It's interesting, and hopefully the action starts picking up in volume 3. So yeah, I definitely recommend this title if you're interested in this type of stuff, and if you like Gantz, you'll probably enjoy this. However, like I said, be conscious of the fact that the speed at which things develop and the action is very different. It's a big change of pace. But yeah, similar titles, Gantz again. I don't really have anything else. I mean, I'm viewing this purely through the eyes of like, this is a Hiroya Oku work. Hiroya Oku made Gantz. This is basically like Gantz, but like slightly different. And yeah, so yeah, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. See you guys later.